What's up everyone, and thank you for stopping by the channel. Today's project is this Echo trimmer, and the problem is I was told it only needed a new primer bulb and new fuel line to run properly. Today we're going to see if they were right. Let's take a good look at it, find out what's wrong with it, and hopefully we can fix it. In this video, we try and repair this trimmer. However, it may not be the exact repair you need to make to yours. We'll explore other options later in the video. This Echo trimmer has to be one of the best residential trimmers on the market. For the price, it offers outstanding quality and power, but the best part is the weight and balance. If I had to spend $200 on a trimmer, this would be the one that I would choose. Now, this trimmer is in outstanding condition. However, if you store your equipment improperly, even the best equipment will suffer. So I was told that it needed a primer bulb and new fuel lines to run again, and I asked why the primer bulb needed to be changed because it wasn't broken. They said it took a lot of pressing to prime the fuel system, and the fuel line is also getting soft, so it might be causing an air leak as well. So I've decided to take their advice and only address the issues they mentioned, but don't be surprised if we have to replace any other parts. Of course, I'm talking about tune-up parts like the air filter and the spark plug. So let's start the diagnostic with the fuel line in the tank. Now, we're really only interested in the fuel line that the filter is attached to. This line is bathed in fuel and is most likely to harden or soften over time. In this case, it's gotten extremely soft and has cracks, which for some reason only happens to this style of rubber line. Also, the filter looks pretty bad, so we'll need to replace it as well. If you buy these in bulk, these can be had for about $1.50. Now, the line that's outside of the tank is soft, but it's not cracked like the part in the tank. I'm not worried about the return line, as it looks like someone has replaced it recently, and the last line is the air vent line. This line shouldn't have any fuel in it, so it rarely gets damaged. Now, the air filter looks pretty good. It's not covered in grass clippings or dirt, but the problem is that at some point it was saturated with old fuel. It would probably work, but remember that the fuel is also mixed with oil, so as a precaution we're going to replace it. These can be bought online in bulk and will cost about $1.50. So on this style of carburetor, after removing the primer bulb and one small screw, we can remove the pumping side of the carburetor to inspect the internal screen. Now, since the filter looks so bad, it makes sense to check the screen for any sort of buildup. And it looks like it was a good idea that we checked. There's not much, but there's some buildup on the screen. This could reduce the amount of fuel that passes through the screen, so we'll use some carb cleaner to remove the buildup. Once it's clean and the carb cleaner dries up, we'll replace the pumping section and the screw that holds it in place. Then we'll replace the primer bulb. These bulbs are extremely affordable, and even if you only buy a small amount, they can be had for about $1 each. If you buy more than several, then the price will be much less. Next, we'll try and replace the fuel filter line. As I was trying to remove the line, you can see just how soft the line has become. Now, after cutting the top part of the line and after removing the tank portion of the line, you can see that it had a clamp on it. That means that this line is made out of two pieces and there's a plastic splice that connects them. If you want to reuse the splice, you're welcome to, but out of simplicity, I'm not going to use it. I believe the reason it was used in the first place is that the rubber line isn't rigid enough while passing through the rubber grommet to keep it from leaking. Now, the tie gun line we'll be using doesn't have this problem. To get it into the tank, cut it at an angle and then push the line into and out of the tank. Cut the angle piece off and install the new fuel filter. When pushing the fuel filter back into the tank, make sure there's enough line inside the tank that the filter can reach the far side of the tank. If the filter doesn't have enough line, it might not be able to pick up all the fuel in the tank, especially if you turn the trimmer on its side when edging. The trimmer will simply run out of fuel and die after a few minutes. Now, for information purposes, I want to do a compression test on this engine to test how worn out it's become in the last 3 years of residential use. The spark plug doesn't look terrible, but it's been a few years, so I want to replace that as well. I'm not sure what kind of reading we'll get, but I want to see a number well over 130 psi. I've never done a test on an engine with such little use, so hopefully it'll be really good. Just screw in the tester in the spark plug hole, squeeze the trigger, and pull the rope several times. So the reading is well over 170 psi. This has to be the highest reading I've ever gotten out of a trimmer before. That means that this engine is extremely healthy and will hopefully run that way for years to come, just so long as it's ran on the right oil-gas mixture. It's at this point we're almost ready to do a test run. I'll replace the old spark plug with a new one, along with a new air filter. Then I'll put some fresh fuel in the tank and prime the fuel system. So according to the previous information, after having changed all these things, the primer bulb shouldn't have a problem filling up with fuel when pressing it. And as you can see, it's not filling up as fast as it should be. I don't have a good feeling about this. Fortunately, it started, but it's not running like it's supposed to. It's not revving up when I squeeze the trigger, and the engine speed is also fluctuating. Now, more than likely, the culprit is going to be the metering diaphragm inside the carburetor. If the diaphragm is wrinkled or beginning to harden, then it won't control the fuel flow through the carburetor like it's supposed to, and this causes the engine not to run smoothly due to poor fuel control. So here's the metering diaphragm, and it's in very bad shape. It has wrinkles in it, and also it's not as flexible as it's supposed to be. This, on the other hand, is a new one, and as you can see, it's flat with no wrinkles and is very flexible. Now you can order just the metering diaphragm online for a few dollars, but if you buy more than one, then each one might be as low as $1 a piece. The only thing I do is make sure that the metering diaphragm looks like the one I'm replacing and that it has the same length stem in the middle. In this case, the stem is very short. Another reason why this engine might not be revving up when squeezing the trigger is that the spark arrestor screen on the muffler is clogged up with carbon. Now the reason this happens is that there might be too much oil in the gas mix, or the trimmer is never ran at full throttle. There's nothing wrong with running your trimmer at part throttle, especially if your lawn isn't overgrown. You just have to remember to remove the spark arrestor screen once in a while and clean any carbon that might be on it. This one was already checked and clear, so this isn't the problem with this trimmer. Now, after changing the metering diaphragm, I would expect that the primer bulb should be working very well when pulling fuel from the tank and into the carburetor. And as you can see, it's pulling the fuel through the lines and into the primer bulb with very little effort. So what I was told about the fuel lines and primer bulb needing to be replaced wasn't completely wrong. However, it needed just a bit more attention than that. In the end, it also needed a metering diaphragm which had become misshapen and somewhat inflexible. This is more than likely a case of ethanol gas in poor storage conditions, but at least this trimmer will be ready for another mowing season. In the end, I replaced the bad fuel line, the fuel filter, a primer bulb, a spark plug, air filter, and finally the metering diaphragm. It basically needed a full tune-up, and the cost in parts was only $8, and it took me about 1.5 hours to do this repair. So my question is, do you think the same problem would have happened to a different trimmer like a steel or another high-end trimmer? This is a fairly expensive trimmer. It's not supposed to have running problems like those cheaper big box store trimmers, or am I wrong believing that? Thank you for watching. I really appreciate your time here. Please feel free to ask me any questions, and I hope to see you in the next video.